Before we kick the video off, I want to let you guys know about Litify. It's the AI coach you can link your Faceit and MM games to, and it breaks them down, tells you what to improve on. My favorite thing is this mapping tool, which tells you what positions you're winning a lot of your fights as compared to losing them. Does the same thing for smokes and flashes. Bring up on the map, it tells you which ones you're using well, which ones you're throwing at bad timings. There's also more of a breakdown into your aim, tells you if your counter strafing's good, your crosshair placement, all of that. And same thing with utility. Your HE is doing a lot of damage. Are you dying with too much utility on your belt? What exactly is going on there? So try it out for free in the description box below. Today we're going to take a look at the final round of professional Counter-Strike played for 2020, where Astralis took the game into their own hands, closed out the round with some aggressive pushes and capitalizing on the weakness in Team Liquid's buy. Now to understand this is the second last round here, where you can see the bad or poor buy coming out from Team Liquid, but they still managed to win the round. Grim gets a nice entry coming out B tunnels on timing, before Stewie runs through, creates space, and Twist gets the second kill. So even with this round coming through for Team Liquid, their economy is not going to be great going to the next round, certainly no AWP on hand, and not even full utility. And Astralis absolutely know this, which is why they go for the play they do early on, but it's going to be a massive factor throughout this entire round. So to start off this, I want you to notice the way that Glaive peeks middle quickly to start off with. He gets nice and close to the door, crosses to spot, make sure there's no scout there from Team Liquid since they know there's not going to be an AWP, and Device is going to peek afterwards. Device isn't just going to take the fight, you can see that? And now Device gets onto the angle. There's no early fight from Device. He still doesn't want to fight a scout and potentially give that advantage away. Naf, relatively careless, coming down lower. Obviously doesn't expect the push from Dupree. Before Dupree gets himself out, and you can see that with that kill, Glaive has got himself in a really good position. There's a couple of really important things that went on while all this chaos was going down. One, notice Dupree, he smokes and nades to get himself out very carefully as if he was solo. He doesn't want to give any kind of indication away that Glaive has managed to get towards top middle, because he's going to be the player completely containing Team Liquid because they have rushed long, and their one safety net, which was Naf, has already died. So Team Liquid, they're kind of stuck right now, which is why they make the decision that they do. You can see once Naf dies, they decide, all right, boys, we have to speed up. We have to try and capitalize on long here because we know Astralis is going to be heavier towards middle. That's exactly what they do. They start to speed up and try and take long and get onto that A site as quickly as possible. But Zipex, the man who defends long, is going to make this very difficult for them. He throws the flash that Astralis through every single round before falling back, looks for anyone jumping over the smoke into pit, doesn't get it, so falls back onto site. But look at this angle he's playing right now. He's playing for anyone potentially swinging wide from Team Liquid, which isn't going to happen, which is why you see Device gets his pick. Probably seen it a couple of times by now from different angles, but he is so confident because of this angle being played from Zip that he only has to peek close on the wall. And that's exactly what he does. He throws a flash for himself out here towards the ramp that's going to pop behind him before peeking nice and close. You can see he gets a very relatively easy kill onto Stewie, trying to speed up and throw his utility while going. Now, once this 5v3 becomes a reality for Astralis, they fall back and they make sure to give Liquid absolutely nothing. Look at Zip, he throws utility here on towards the A site to delay anyone coming up from Team Liquid. They now have to worry about, is anyone playing around this smoke, what's going on? But in fact, Zip throws this, doesn't even bother trying to play around it, falls all the way back, and Astralis are not playing very passive and not giving Liquid any way back into this 3v5, which you can see is exactly what Elise is trying to do, looking on these boxes, looking for a Device, anyone down there in towards CT, but he's not going to find anything. Now, if you've been watching the minimap and the kill feed the last couple of clips, you might be thinking, well, mate, you've given Astralis so much credit in this 5v3, but Glaive pushes out long, the rest of his team's playing passive, gives up a relatively solo fight to Twist, and now does give Team Liquid a chance back into the round. Now, there's a couple of reasons for this. Notice the timing is one very important one. Device gets this kill, makes it a 5v3, Glaive waits a second and a half, and then he goes and starts trying to push through long, very confident, just sprinting the whole way. And this is for one reason. It's because of the util that Zip put down here. It's really, really difficult as the T side to take the A site with just two players if the CTs are defending it, like Zip made it look like they were. So the third player and the final player alive for Team Liquid is going to be forced to, if he was watching the back, to go and help out. And you can see Twist actually is here throwing some of the flashes to help them get onto the side, as well as a molly here. So that's the reason that he starts to push out here, and you can see he does actually catch Twist. It's just a little bit of a whiff, you could say. So that's the reason he takes that fight, even though it's a 5v3, is he really closes down the map, and he should have won that fight, and the round goes from a 95% win to pretty much 100% if he does. Now this takes us into the retake portion. Again, notice Device's routing here, make sure he's not going to get caught by anyone, but as Astralis start going into this retake, it's the second time that Team Liquid's economy becomes a big deal because they have no way to fight back against the Astralis retake, which is why it's going to look so smooth because they can use all those protocols they've practiced and just execute them whenever they want. So notice how this has gone down right now. Device has fallen all the back into CT to play quite passive. You can see he just took a shot. He's the player that watches Car, and he's had Car pretty much this entire time. We saw Magisk throw that flash that is just landed above there, and all of Astralis peeked in unison and took a slightly different angle. Magisk threw the flash, and now he's got Goose. No one can peek from there at all if anyone was there. Dupree was the one who was on the bricks. He swung out. He now has mid-sight, and he's also the player who's going to be fighting the position that Grim's in. And with this flash, Zip peeked out, and he's just been holding that T-ramp this entire time. So every single angle right now is covered by the 4 players of Astralis. And as I said, with no counter utility from Team Liquid, this is going to look silky smooth from them. Now, the first thing that happens is Dupree starts to move out. You can see that as Device spots the guy at Car, Dupree quickly adjusts his aim and manages to hit a nice shot onto Elige. After that, Grim peeks out, wins a nice fight onto Zip despite the fact that he's holding it, and now it's a 2v3. Now, notice this as well. Dupree now replaces Zip at holding this ramp position, and Magisk basically becomes Dupree, still watching Goose. They don't quite know where this third player is, and they're just going to wait, and as Grim's trying to move around, he backs up a little bit too much, gives the kill to Dupree, and now it's just a matter of swarming onto that third player. You saw Magisk had given up on Goose. Any good teammate would have peeked by then, so they decide that he has to be towards long. Nice little flash here from Device, not leaving anything to chances, just putting on the floor as he runs up, makes it even more difficult for Twist to take this fight. Dupree's going to be the player on top, peeking out first. He's going to swing out wide, and he's going to get this final kill onto Twist. So a nice little round from Astralis, not a super fancy strat or anything, but they execute it very well, very precisely, and capitalize on the fact that Team Liquid have nothing to disrupt what they want to do. So if you like this kind of content, make sure to like, subscribe, and I'll catch you all in the next video.